Hello, hello, and welcome to Third Shot Rants with Howard and Gina. I'm Gina. Hi, Howard.
Hi, Gina.
And we're two pickleball friends living in Chicago.
Gina, what are we talking about?
Howard, today we're talking about lobs. Before we get started, we want to send a quick congratulations to our friend Felix B. On the opening of Pickleball Kingdom Waukegan, which is opening this weekend. So congrats on that, bud. Howard, what is a lob? Let's talk about it.
What is a lob, Gina?
A lob is a shot. It's a high lofted and deep hit shot towards your opponent's baseline. It's used to push your opponents off the kitchen line, move them towards their baseline, perhaps to buy yourself some time and space, or to catch your opponents off guard. So we're thinking about those deep, lofty balls going over your opponent's heads.
Gina, I've got a shorter definition.
Yeah.
It's the most annoying shot in pickleball.
Oh my gosh,
For a lot of people, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
It's a way to lose your pickleball friends.
It certainly is. Howard, tell us about your lob journey. Are you a lobber? Were you a lobber?
So for a long time, I never hit a lob. So I think for the first year I was playing, I just about never hit a lob. Maybe like a defensive lob as a last resort, perhaps, but not even that much. And then I don't know how it started, but there was some point. I don't know whether it was just because someone else was lobbing, or I really don't remember why. But I started lobbing, and then once I started lobbing, I couldn't stop. Like it wasn't because I was trying to be strategic, and it wasn't because like, oh, it's working well, I'm going to win this, the stupid rec game by lobbing. But every ball that came to me, it felt like I could lob it. If I was kind of deep, I could hit like a deep lob. If I'm up towards the kitchen, I could hit like more of an offensive lob. Just every shot felt like a lob, and I'm not kidding around. Like I would just play in any game I was playing in, and honestly, like 3/4 of the shots I hit, other than like a serve or a return, might have been a lob. So freaking annoying.
So you caught this lob bug, and you could not shake it. You had to lob everything.
It felt like, oh, that was the right shot. Like I didn't go into the game thinking I'm going to lob, or like that's the way to win the game. It just everything felt like a lob, and it's really a miracle that I still had pickleball friends at the end of that period. But I did that all the time, and there's one time as part of that period, I was playing in a league, playing with a friend of the pod, Susie, and I kept lobbing people in that league, or that like mini tournament as well, and it was also so annoying. Like we played some people who didn't really have overheads that much, and I would lob, and they would have to run back and get the ball. And the worst thing, Gina, is part of that. One of the people we were playing against, they didn't lob at the time, but as I think largely as a result of that somewhat traumatic game, they became a lobber, and now they lob all the time. So, and I think it's not. It can be a really effective shot, but it's not. It's not long run a good shot for your game if that's all you're hitting. Like that can't be good for your game.
Howard, I think this begs the question: is lobbing contagious? You see a lob, and then you have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we also have friends, Gina, we have friends who don't like being lobbed, and then
I don't like being lobbed.
Gina, on the scale of people that we know, you're nowhere close to the far end of people who don't like being lobbed. Yeah.
All right, I'm a medium. I don't like being lobbed.
Yeah, I don't like being lobbed either. But the people who, honestly, if you hit a couple of lobs in them, they might stop playing, which is fair in its way, I think. But the other response you'll get is if one side starts lobbing, then the other side would just start lobbing nonstop. And it at that point, it's not even who's going to win the game or whatever. It's just then what are we even doing here, Gina?
It's who can be the most annoying, probably.
So that was my. So I hit so many lobs during that period. I'm so sorry to anyone I played during that time. But somehow I kind of shook myself out of it, and I mostly stopped. I still hit. I would still hit some kind of lobs of the kitchen line sometimes. That strikes me, Gina, as like a really effective shot, even against good people. Like
Mm-hmm.
lobbing from the baseline, unless you're being really strategic about it. If you're playing people who have decent or good overheads, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
It can work at times, but it's not
Yeah.
that effective a strategy. But I do feel like lobbing at the kitchen line is probably a little underused if that's your goal in terms of trying to win a game.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good offensive shot. Do you think there were like social cues that you picked up on that led to you to stop lobbing?
I mean, there should have been, but like I'm trying to remember how long this went on for. I think maybe at least a couple of months. I think, yeah. With a couple of my friends, I negotiated like, okay, I'm just gonna hit one lob on you a game, and that's it. And then once I said that, of course, I had to hit that one lob a game because I had my quota of lobs to hit.
It's very kind of you to warn them.
Yeah. But yeah, eventually I got out of it. Now there was a while I would hit lobs from the kitchen line, but I don't know, I was less interested in doing that at some point. Now I don't lob very much, except we've been talking about doing this for this episode in the last week or so, Gina. And last week I've been lobbing a game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's under control. Like I think I'm either on the wagon or off the wagon. I don't know which way it goes, but it's still pretty effective. I was trying to keep track for the podcast, and I think I was definitely winning like the majority of my points when I was lobbying. And I was not lobbying indiscriminately, but I was lobbying way more than I normally do. And I don't know, maybe winning 2/3 or more of the points.
Wow.
How about you, Gina? What's your lobbying experience?
Yeah. So I think you got to experience my lobbying journey the most, probably out of anyone. Because when I first started pickleball, I was very much playing tennis and would not move into the kitchen line. And one of my like go-to sort of panic shots would be a topspin lob from the baseline, and it doesn't really make sense in pickleball, but it was effective enough that I would kind of continue. I would use it like every single game at least. At some point,
yeah. It was. I remember that it was solid, like especially against me because I'm not great at getting to a lob. I don't like to try to get. I'm not sure you've ever seen me jump, Gina.
Howard, your athletic prowess is top notch.
All right, but I remember it was a good topspin lob.
I feel like the only place that would even work would be McFetridge. Those ceilings are so high.
Yeah,
To be doing that like deep topspin lob.
Yeah, indoors for sure.
Yeah,
Right.
and like the only indoor spot that really like I'm pretty safe from ceiling structures. So at some point, I think I just like actually started playing better pickleball and just like wasn't staying at the baseline, so I didn't need that shot. My offensive lob though, like it just doesn't like come to mind for me often, and it really should. I need to be busting it out more. So I was in the same boat as you, where this last week I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me just throw this in there when all four are at the kitchen in a little dink battle, waiting for that easy setup and just pop it right over. Probably that right side player's right shoulder, going cross court, and
Yeah.
it's so effective. I'm like kind of kicking myself that in my last tournament, I'm like it did not come to mind. So gonna do a little like better preparation for tournaments and like really remember like shots that are like kind of in that back pocket that maybe I don't use against my friends all the time, but I need to be using in a competitive setting.
Yeah, I feel like that lob from the kitchen line, that's maybe one of the easiest shots for someone to add to their arsenal.
Hmm.
Like, it doesn't if you've got some reasonable kind of paddle skills, it's just not that hard to pick up, as opposed to, like, if you're trying to hit some new shot, like a roll or a flick
Hmm.
or something, like, you probably have to drill the hell out of that to make that good enough to use in a game. Whereas, honestly, I feel like, if you've got some decent paddle control,
Yeah,
it's not that hard. You just have to think of hitting it.
totally. It's like, I mean, it's completely like mostly disguised as a dink or a volley, and like it's these shots that we've already been hitting, and now we're just gonna pop it right over their heads. So totally, it's an easy one to add to our games.
Yeah, I don't know what we're unleashing, Gina, with this.
Huh?
Like, it's gonna be an epidemic of lobbing.
Totally.
Okay.
Um,
Well, that I think that brings us to our next topic of when is it appropriate to lob or when is it not appropriate to lob?
yeah, what do you think? What do you think about like rec play? Are we lobbing in rec play? Like, so we're just going to like a open play, I assume, and
Yeah, yeah. I think so. I think I would break it down to maybe the kinds of things we talked about in the targeting episode,
uh-huh.
where you can think of what's appropriate for rec play, what's appropriate for more organized games that
Hmm.
where you have groups that you organize yourselves, and then what's appropriate in like a really competitive environment where you've got league or tournament play.
Hmm.
And in rec play, I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to tell other people for the most part what to do in rec play. People are going to do what they want. Um, and there are definitely some people who lob a lot.
Hmm.
And whatever. Like, for the most part, whatever. Like, because you meet all kinds of people in rec play, and you may or may not enjoy playing with them. Not even so much in like, are you going to win or not win against the person, but I don't think anyone really likes playing against people that are super one dimensional, right?
Hmm.
So like, whether it's lobs or people who only ever drive the ball, and even if it's not super effective against you, eh, I approach pickleball a lot as kind of recreation and kind of fun. And if someone's just doing the same thing over and over again at you, then like it's fine for a rec game or two, but that's not someone I'm looking to play with longer term.
That makes sense. Because I mean, yeah, I view it as like this like really fun puzzle, and like if you can put it together in a few minutes, it's like, well, okay, that's fine. I'm done.
Yeah,
Yeah, so having yeah different strategies and not being able to completely read our opponents is a fun part of the game.
yeah. The one I think my one thing about rec play or in general, but especially rec play, because you've got such a mix of people who show up there, is you just have to be a little careful about not lobbing people who have serious mobility issues, right?
Hmm.
Because I feel like it's not safe.
Yeah, I think that's like part of what makes pickleball really special is that there's such a variety of folks that are playing, age wise and ability wise, and it really brings people together. And so, just being mindful of who's on the court is super important. We don't want anyone getting hurt. I am like a big proponent of like going to open play and practicing things that I'm integrating into my game, but like be smart about it. So I probably wouldn't lob more than twice in a game, and that's only if I'm playing people like younger than me or you know show that their balance and stability is solid. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it applies, beyond lobs. Like,
yeah,
don't drive the ball really hard at someone who can't really handle it. Like,
yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
just common sense. But you do see it, Gina, right? It happens all the time. I think I talked about this on a prior episode, but sometimes I play at Golf View up in Niles, and there's a solid retiree crowd there,
Hmm.
and the older people, they love to lob the crap out of each other.
Hmm.
Like, they're just hitting lobs back and forth.
Love it. Love it for them. Keep me out of it. It's good for them.
Um,
Amazing. So rec play, we're saying sure, but use your head and don't overdo it.
yeah, definitely don't do it against someone
Yeah.
that could get injured. And
Yeah.
I think like this, I've had situations where people have said, "Well, that's my game, that's how I play," and I kind of get that, but if it's someone who has serious mobility issues, then for that game, maybe skip that and work on something else, and maybe you work on a different shot.
That makes
Um,
sense.
I've never, besides a situation where feeling like someone's potentially going to be unsafe, I'm never going to complain about someone lobbying at rec play.
Mhm.
Um, other than that really unpleasant period in my life, Gina,
Mhm.
I I personally, I'm not really going to hit lobs at rec play at all, really.
Mhm. Sounds good. I agree.
What about a somewhat more competitive situation, kind of an organized game where you formed your own group and you're playing in kind of a private group?
I think it's fair to expect it, but I also still don't like it. So this happened to me this week where I was just like, "Oh, this is what we're doing today." Very timely, very cool. Um, so I can see in that situation where, you've got the people that and you know what they're capable of, and so busting out your lob is going to be very fair game in that situation. I still am not like very active in hitting the lob, so I need to start practicing more like come those game times. What do you do in those organized games?
I think it depends on the crowd. I think it depends on people's expectations coming in.
Mhm.
So I play the range of people. Some people I know just absolutely hate being lobbed.
Mhm.
And like if I'm going to invite them, then I'm not going to invite them and then do something that they hate.
Mhm.
Right? I can make a decision of, "Oh, I feel like I should be able to lob." And if that's how I really feel, then I shouldn't invite someone that's going to hate being lobbed. Right?
Is this your job though to like manage these adults' emotions about lobs like come game time? I don't know. It seems like it's a lot on your plate, Howard. You're already organizing the games, and now you have to think about how someone might react to a very fair and legitimate shot in pickleball.
Yeah, maybe I mean, I'm telling you that is in fact what I do. Like maybe it's too much to be thinking about and taking on, and I have gotten that comment from people I talked to about this. Um, but I also know, I know there are people who just don't want to deal with
Mhm.
lobs, right? So it feels like I guess I do feel a little bit like I'm the host
Mm,
of some. I do feel that way, that I'm the host, and I worry a little bit about everyone kind of having a good time. I worry about everyone feeling reasonably competitive in a group.
mhm,
And maybe I shouldn't. Like
mhm,
maybe everyone's just these are all adults allegedly, so they should be able to show up and handle themselves.
mhm.
But I also know like someone hates being lobbed, and then why am I gonna invite them and then lob them?
Yeah, that's really reasonable, and that also just kind of shows that what kind of guy you are, which is super kind and thoughtful.
But then sometimes I'll tease them about it. Like if I'm playing with someone and the person I'm playing with lobs them, then I'm gonna kind of make a
Oh,
joke of it at some point.
love it, Howard. Yeah, so I think those organized games are gonna could go either way for sure. So it's gonna depend on how competitive that group is and knowing the people. So
Yeah, I think it really should be like everyone should feel that they're in the right environment. So there's some groups that may be more social games, and you're playing because you're friends, and yeah, and you're not trying to go absolutely full out. the other games where this goes back to the targeting episode, like if we've decided we're going to form a group and everyone's just going to do everything completely as aggressively, as strategically as they can to win that game, then if we are all on board with that going into that matchup, then everything's on the table. Targeting, lobbying, whatever, no one has a right to complain about something being annoying, because we've all come into this group with the mindset that we're just gonna go full out and try to do anything possible to win.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel you're in in that kind of group sometimes, Gina?
Yeah. So I think like, especially like if I'm prepping for a tournament or something, like we'll, be fully transparent of like, hey, we're going all out today. But I still like, it's just like not in the forefront of my mind to hit lobs. Like I really need to like ingrain that into my process. But yeah, I think that's very legitimate. So if there's something going on where people are, either it's just agreed upon that we're all kind of feeling like, hey, let's be like, let's just kind of like leave it all out on the court today.
Yeah.
Then definitely expect it. It's going to tire you out. It's going to cause some confusion. It's going to make everything a little bit more difficult. So it's a good shot.
What about someone taking advantage of the sun or the conditions?
Howard. Yeah, so I'm a little bit of a sour puss about these situations. This happened to me this summer, and I don't really, I don't make a scene, but like, yeah. So we're playing outside, and it's an extremely sunny day out, and even with sunglasses, you lose the ball completely. Our group even decided to switch at 6, which is, that I think that signals that it's kind of competitive. That like, okay, we're gonna keep this really fair. Um, we started on the non-sunny side, and we did not lob at all. And then we switched sides and got lobbed incessantly, like just nonstop. And at that point, I just kind of put my paddle like to my side and was like, okay, I'm just gonna say good shot every single time because I'm not getting hurt. I can't see for like 10 seconds after I look up for the ball, and this is just entirely unworth it. So I was definitely a little pouty that day. I don't find that to be fun or like necessary in like some friendly play. Like it's just like it just felt like too much for me, and I was very annoyed. So maybe not my best moment to not even like respond to it, but I just was like, forget it. This is not for me today.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a weird thing to do in something that is short of. If you're in a tournament, I guess we'll get to tournaments in a second, but I guess everything's on the table and it's,
Mm-hmm.
anything is fine because that's what you're there for. But like taking advantage of something that's such a, it's outside the normal, I guess it's outside the normal bounds of a game. But I think of things also like sometimes we play on courts where the walls or the sides are a little close to the court,
Mm-hmm.
and you can serve or hit a, especially on a serve, but hit a shot kind of wide into that side wall, and it might be unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
um I feel like it's kind of shitty to do that because it's not really the game you set out to play. You're trying to play pickleball, which doesn't involve
Mm-hmm.
sending people into the side wall, because normally you have courts where there's enough room to play. So that feels a little unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, that sounds fair to me, and like I agree with that sentiment of like, and it's always just going to come down to like I just do not care about winning rec games. It's not like of interest to me. It's just not something that I go home and like think about and count. I'll like evaluate my like wins and losses and other metrics of like, oh, like I did well with this shot today or something, or I stayed mentally tough through some difficult points. But yeah, counting like the wins, it's not interesting, and it doesn't really like show like anything important to me.
But when you're switching at 6, Gina, I don't think
Yeah.
you're not in a rec game anymore,
Listen,
Gina.
yeah, it's intense. So yeah, I was very I was not a good sport that day. I was just like, great, nice shot. I'm not even looking at it. I'm just gonna keep my head down and like because I can't see afterwards. And this is with the hat and sunglasses on, so I'm always like fully prepped for sun, and it was just one of those days where it was impossible to see. So that to me felt like why are you doing this?
Yeah,
Certainly got annoyed,
yeah,
and I
sure.
didn't hide it that much.
What about tournaments?
Yeah, I think yeah, we kind of go back to that targeting episode, and it's really going to be like, hey, if this is a competitive game, then expect anything and everything. And I don't think that there's any sort of limit to that too. Like if someone just lobbed nonstop, like I don't think that there's that it like that's inappropriate if it's working. I think in a tournament, like you keep doing anything that works until it doesn't work, and then figure out a new plan. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. So there's a kind of famous example where Anna Lee was playing with her mom in a tournament, and her mom was getting lobbed nonstop when she was facing into the sun,
Mhm.
right? And um, the mom kind of threw a fit basically on the court and was ranting at the opponents about why are you lobbing? This is, I don't know exactly what she said, but I think the gist of it was she felt that was unsportsmanlike.
Mhm.
But it was very effective in that one game, and so
Mhm.
they kept on lobbing her. And I think the weight of public opinion was that it was perfectly valid to lob in that situation, because I don't know what other kind of rule you can have, like don't lob
Right.
if the conditions that make it too hard to hit an overhead.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no like policing that really. And so she had a couple of like really solid whiffs. And I feel for her because that was the same scenario. I mean, other than it not being a professional tournament, obviously, but like I was not having it. But yeah, for her to kind of like storm to the other team, like towards the net and complain about this, it was not a good look for Lee Waters.
Yeah, I think she was surprised. Like, there's an interview with her
Yeah.
after that match, which we'll put in the notes. I think she thought she had a valid point, and I think the gist of it, I think, was that she felt it was unsportsmanlike to do what the other team did. But pretty much the whole pickleball community was kind of sided against her.
Yeah,
Uh,
the internet was not having it. I mean, her sense of entitlement was very much showing like, "Hey, we're in a tournament, be nice to me." No, that's not how any of this works, especially I mean, that was a PPA tournament in 2022, I think.
yeah, you guys are pros. You're
Yeah.
you're playing in, I forget what it might have been, quarters or semifinals. You're one of
Yeah.
you're one of the if not the top team in the draw, and you're complaining about being lobbed.
It was really something. I'm glad you shared that video with me because I really, I had not seen that. It was before I was playing pickle, and I haven't seen it like resurfaced.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know that anyone could really do that now, though. Right? Like it's after like all that feedback, it seems like you're gonna kind of keep your mouth shut if something like that happens.
Yeah, I think so. I think she was legitimately surprised that there weren't more people on her side. Who are some big lobbers in the pro pickleball community?
Um, so Anna Bright kind of owns this title right now. Earlier this fall, it was broken a record. She hit 24 lobs in one game against it was Anna Lee and Ben Johns. So she really kind of like made some headlines with that of like this is a very effective strategy. They won that game, but I don't think they won that match. Um, she's definitely a master of it, and she really owns it too. Like she is not shying away from that title. So happy for her.
Yeah, and I think it shows how effective lob. These were almost all lobs from the kitchen line,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I think it shows how effective that can be against. Obviously, she's very skilled and she's hitting really really good lobs from the kitchen line, but
Hmm.
this is also working against the top team who are tremendously athletic and skilled, and they have the ability to really go back and get up to hit an overhead, and her kitchen lobs are still working really well.
Yeah, she does a great job at taking those right out of the air. It's, entirely disguised. She can move that ball around. She's got a ton of different targets. The other team really they struggle to keep up with her. So I would have lost my mind in that match, but Anna Bray is, the queen, so we support it.
Okay, Gina. So I think what we're telling people is be a little careful about when you lob. Don't lob really old people.
Hmm.
Maybe think about. Are we telling people to think about adding the lob to their strategy?
Yeah, I would say definitely. Do it within reason. I would say don't lob a lot, but keep it in your back pocket. Like have that little surprise shot for sure. Yeah, I think it only makes us better to have a little something that isn't like super predictable. It does seem like, you know, clients will come to me and say like, "Oh, I need to like learn how to chase down the lob." And I'm like, "Oh, who's lobbing you?" And they'll just like name like a couple people, like their friends, and I'm like if they're always lobbing you, then like don't go all the way in, like make those adjustments and
Or
you
just tell them to stop.
tell them to stop. You know them; they're your friends. So I think that yeah, we're definitely telling people to be smart about it and be kind about it. Like, part of my certification process as a coach through RPO, like their lobbing section was like, do not do this if you want to keep your friend. Like, don't lob a ton if you want to keep your friends. And like it's a little cheeky, but it's also true. Like, be nice. People
Yeah,
want to
'cause
have fun and be safe.
right. A lot of the groups I play in, people are there to kind of play and have fun and get some recreation, and lobbying is one example, but I think anyone who has a super one-dimensional game, it's just not super fun to play with them.
Hmm.
And if you're not enjoying playing with someone, then probably you're not going to play with them in the future.
Hmm. Definitely. They're not going to make it to Howard's invite list. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how I got out of my lobbying phase with any friends, Gina, but somehow I did.
You're just that kind of guy, Howard. You made it work.
All right. Coach's Corner. Do you have a guess what
Yeah.
we're going to talk about?
Yeah, Howard. What's your best guess? We
Oh,
are
are we?
talking about labs.
Okay. What do you have for us?
Um, I was going to talk just a little bit more about hitting that offensive lob. So if you haven't, if this is a new shot for you, find some time to drill or practice it. What we're looking for is when all four players are at the kitchen. I think like the simplest way to introduce this shot to new players or to like people who just don't have this in their arsenal yet is I'm really just waiting for that forehand dink that comes right to me. I'm not off balance in the slightest. I'm probably not even having to move for this shot. Um, and then I'm gonna pop that ball right up, like so it's gonna look like a dink as I'm hitting it. Um, Ideally, I'm gonna go cross court with that because I have a little more room for error. And so, one recommendation for starting this one out is when you're on the right side, um, using that cross court lob. Um, so I think that that's a great intro. I have a video on my Instagram at some point when I think I forced you to drill that with me, right, Howard? Is that right?
I do remember that. Yes.
So then I busted it out in a game and I was like, oh, I really like that. That was fun. So it's a fun one to try. Obviously, like if it's not deep enough, go on and like take a big old step back and anticipate that, that overhead's about to come at you pretty hard. So it can be a little scary to try it out in a real game, but have some friends and let them know, hey, I'm going to practice a shot. And it can be a real fun one to integrate into your game.
And try to get it over someone's backhand if that
Yeah. So like if you can get it over, yeah, ideally you want to pass over that backhand. It's going to be a weaker response. And yeah, like that might just be like the setup that you needed if they're able to get to it and it's just not a strong response, then you're still kind of in business and holding that kitchen line while they're pushed back. So it definitely achieves your goal there of staying on the offensive there.
it's brought back memories, Gina, when I was in my lobbing phase and there was someone who didn't really have much overhead.
Uh-huh.
You could just kind of lob them and just go. You don't have to stay back. Just go up the kitchen line because they're not going to hit it back hard and you
Uh-huh.
play the next shot like a volley.
Yeah.
But especially if you get at someone's backhand, they're obviously people with very good overheads
Mhm.
who would crush the ball at me. But to get
Yeah.
someone who doesn't have one and you can really get on their backhand. I mean, there are very few people who hit like a backhand overhand. Maybe a couple of kind of guys who, especially kind of ex-tennis players who
Yeah, like
actually,
really whip it.
yeah.
Mine's definitely defensive and like, okay, I'll keep this ball in play. I can do that for sure. My other comment about this is, just I guess I hinted at this earlier, is about like defending the lob. And so, like, our best tool there is just anticipation, right? Some people are showing us all their cards all the time. And so I don't have to really guess that, Joe Schmo at, open play down the street is lobbing every other shot. And so I don't need to be like hugging that kitchen line and like leaning all the way in if I know that lob's coming. And so, yeah, adjust. We get to know our opponents and we kind of are, little data collectors on what they typically do. And that's just like a really like straightforward way of getting better at this. And so if we're defending the lob, we want to make sure that we're like drop stepping. And so I'm opening my body towards the ball. What we want to avoid is that backpedaling. So I have seen a player fall and like hit their head backwards, and that's a very scary situation to be in. So I don't want to be backpedaling. I want to drop step and then kind of shuffle if I need to.
Tell me what you mean by drop step.
Yeah, so if I'm at the kitchen, I've got that wide base, like my stance is wide, and if that ball's going over, let's say my right shoulder, I'm gonna drop my right foot back, like take a big step back that way, and then I'm squaring my shoulders up to that overhead opportunity. So I'm really thinking about like closing my stance towards the ball in that situation and not just sort of like generally moving backwards. So it's a little bit more athletic. I can keep my balance and stable myself a little bit easier that way. So I'm really thinking about which way that ball's coming, taking a big step backwards. So if it's coming to my backhand, I'll drop step with my left foot and then kind of move back, like shuffle that way.
Okay. And let's say you run back and you get to the ball. What should you be thinking about after you get
Yeah.
there?
So ideally, like we're gonna drop that into the kitchen. Easier said than done, right? We're under a lot of stress. Our adrenaline's pumping. We're under we're just kind of in like an uncomfortable position. So a lot of people just kind of wail on that ball and then, our opponents are at the kitchen waiting for it and they just slam it and the point's over. So ideally, like if we can like be gentle with it, loosen that grip, try to drop that in the kitchen so we can regain our footing and get back into an offensive position. So I'll also see people like lob a return, and I don't have like super strong feelings about that. It's tough though because you don't want to accidentally set them up for an overhead. So the safest shot is going to be that drop into the kitchen. Use that space. That's our safe zone. That
Yeah,
gives us time to move.
I tend to lob when I get back there because I don't really feel like getting all the way back up to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
That feels a long way away to me.
It is, right? I respect
Yeah.
that, Howard.
I don't love trying to get a lob. I also don't love trying to run up past the kitchen. Like
Yeah.
a drop shot is works pretty well on me.
Yeah, definitely. I also just want to mention too, like if you're, getting lobbed, like both partners should be retreating back. And this really just prevents so if we're playing together, Howard, and let's say you're chasing down that lob and you hit um, an overhead that sets up the other team, and I'm just standing at the kitchen, I'm probably going to eat that ball, and it's a
Right.
little scary. So we're both gonna retreat, get back, communicate. If there's a switch involved, yeah, not be running into each other. So
Okay. Good advice. So Gina, I think after this episode, everyone's going to be lobbying like crazy. So they should email you at gtpicklecoach@gmail.com to either learn how to hit a lob or defend a lob or how to complain about a lob. You're going to cover all of that.
email me to complain about it. I love it.
Right.
I know it's a tough one. You see that ball go up, and it's can be deflating. So we'll work on it and get better at it and make it not so daunting.
Okay. And as always, listener questions and comments, you can email us at thirdshotrants@gmail.com. Gina, what's our after show today?
Howard, we finally went out to play some pool, and we played as part of our bar game competition that we have going.
Yeah. What's the set of games we have on tap?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Pool, darts, ping pong, air hockey, bags, foosball. What was the tiebreaker?
I can't remember another one. That's all that came to mind.
Darts. Did I say darts?
I think you did say darts
Okay.
already. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Oh, the little the kind of arcade basketball game.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh,
Little shooting game.
I'm gonna smoke you on that one.
Are you going to
Yes.
smoke me in that one, Gina, the same way you thought you were going to smoke me at pool?
Howard, let's run the tape back. I don't know that I said I would smoke you in pool, other than I would not be awful at it.
Did you think you were going to be competitive with me at pool?
I don't know, Howard. Maybe I just wanted to spend time with you. Okay, I wanted to entice you to hang out, and I knew that pool was a quick way to your heart. And that.
It was a lot of fun.
So
We went to Nick's Billiards, which is, we'll put it in the show notes. It's on Pulaski, just north of Montrose. It's a nice place. They got good snacks.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. So just a really cool, just a chill pool hall. I definitely talked too much shit going into this, and then didn't. I posted that photo of me having 8 salads still on the on the table when you were hitting the 8 ball in. So it was humbling. It was fun. They had good chicken tenders. So overall, just a great night out. So thanks for that, Howard.
Yeah, it's a nice place. They've got, I don't know how many tables, a bunch of them, maybe 10, 11 tables. They have some fast food that is way better than it needs to be for a pool hall.
Why were their French fries that good? It was like McDonald's, but actual good French fries.
Yeah, I think they just do a good job. I mean, I'm sure it's all from the freezer, but they fry things up well. They've got a bar. So.
Yeah. So Howard, you are currently winning in our bar games Olympics that we are hosting with each other, 1-0.
So just for the record, it didn't feel super close, Gina. Fair? Is that fair? I don't want to, overstate things, but
this is correct information. I think on my best game, which was possibly the warm up where you weren't really trying, I had 3 balls left when you won. So not very close.
I mean, I wasn't. So when I think I mentioned this before, when I was when I was young, when I was in college, I used to play a ton. Like I really played a lot. Now, college is about 40 years ago at this point for me, Gina.
Mhm.
And we were talking about this the other night when we played, like where would we put ourselves on a pickleball on a DUPR rating
Mhm.
scale? And I really was quite good. Like I think I was 5.0, maybe
Yeah.
5.0 plus ish. Like I was I was I think the best player in college, and certainly among anyone I played against. And there was a small group of people who played pretty intensely. So I think you got to know pretty much everyone.
Tell us what it means to run the table, Howard.
So if you make a ball off the break and then you get all of your, we're playing 8 ball the whole time. You get all of your balls plus the 8 ball in off the break.
And you could do that.
I could do that. I was trying to think how I was trying. I was telling you about this the other night. I definitely would do it fairly consistently. Probably a couple of times a night, and I'll play for a couple of hours. Um, and I was for people that are into pool. I was playing on like a small table, which for the most part is probably easier because it's easier to kind of move your ball around the table. It's a little harder because there's less room for the balls to spread out. And the
Mhm.
the thing that makes things most difficult is if balls kind of get jammed up together. It's hard to
Mm.
make a set of balls in a row because you don't have clean shots at everything. You've got to try to do something to move balls into a clean position to make it. But I really was quite good then. No offense, Gina. Now I'm terrible. Like I I would have the way I played the other night. I would have lost to most anyone I was playing in college because I just couldn't. I could make balls some of the time, but I couldn't. I had very little control of the cue ball, which
Mhm.
is kind of the big thing if you're playing pool somewhat seriously. Like if you're able to control your cue ball so that you get it in the right position for the next shot, you can make that next shot really easy.
Mhm.
If you have very little control of the cue ball, which was the case for me the other night, you just got to make a whole bunch of somewhat tougher or very tough shots in a row, and that's difficult.
Yeah, that was an interesting part of the evening, for me, just to kinda, like, think about that parallel to pickleball of, like, I was never thinking about the cue ball. I'm only thinking about what's in front of me, like this one shot. And it is like kind of desperation. And that kind of maybe is how we feel like on the pickleball court when we're first starting is like, I'm not thinking about 2 shots down the road. I'm thinking about this panic moment. And yeah, being able to
Yeah.
like have that experience and have those decisions be a little bit smarter as we progress is super important. So
And I watch enough TikToks to know that people talk about kind of patterns when you're
mhm,
playing, and I don't ever really think about that, right?
mhm,
Um, and I know that's a sensible thing to do to kind of
mm,
think multiple shots ahead and try to set yourself up. And
yeah,
honestly, I don't really try to do that. Whereas in pool, that's all I think about is
yeah.
you're trying to see the whole table and when you come to the table, if you're good enough, you have some reasonable hope of trying to run the table. You're trying to assess how do I get from each ball to the next,
Mhm.
and what are the one or two difficult balls on the table that are most challenging to get in, and try to figure out some strategy of dealing with that.
Mhm. Yep. Super valid, Howard. I am thinking
Um,
about that triangle effect in pickleball and trying to get better at that and just understanding and anticipating better, but I don't see myself developing that in pool. So you will always smoke me.
what do you think your pool dupa is, Gina?
Howard, I don't know. I mean, is it the same scale? Does it start at 2.0? Because I think I'm better than that though, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
said I was like an average bar player, which to me is a compliment. So thank you.
Yeah, I think that's not. I don't play in bars that hardly at all, but I think that's right. I was trying to think about this more seriously, Gina.
Mhm.
This is which was probably way more mind energy, then that makes sense. But it's a little hard to compare because all the people we know at pickleball play a lot. So there are lots of people we know that play endlessly, and their DUPRs may range anywhere from 2.0 up to 5.0 plus. Pool is, for most of us, pool is a much more sporadic activity. So among the set of people who are active pool players, you might be a 2.0, I might be a 3.0 among people that play a ton. But among people who just kind of play sometimes on vacation or in a bar, yeah, I think you're 2.5, maybe you're 3.0. I don't know, maybe.
Okay. Well,
I don't
we'll
think
see what happens when we play mini basketball, Howard.
Yeah, I don't think I'm currently. I'm not even sure I'm 4.0 in terms of. Definitely not in terms of people who play a lot. Probably in terms. I do think I could probably beat most people, just casual players in a bar.
If you want to hustle Howard, email us at thirdshotrants@gmail.com. We will come meet you at Nick's. Thank you.
For sure. I'm also trying to think, Gina, of what this bodes for the rest of our bar game Olympics. So I want to know what you're confident in, and how does your level of confidence compare to how confident you were when we went into the pool game?
I would say pool is middle of the road for me. I am going to beat you at bags and mini basketball. I think darts will be competitive. Foosball and ping pong, I will lose at.
Yeah. So the other thing that happened, Gina, is we were at Piccadilly for Friendsgiving night, like after Thanksgiving, and they have a ping pong table in the back, but they moved it out to the front for the event to kind of try to encourage people to play. I was trying to get you to play, Gina, but I felt like you kind of ducked the game.
You know what, Howard? It was, just not the moment for me to shine on that. And maybe I want to practice at home in a safe space, or I'll call someone to come practice with me before we do that in public.
Oh no extra practicing. No extra practicing.
You run a tight ship, Howard, and I respect that.
All right, so I think you're going to beat me in bags, unless I don't know. I feel like I still have a shot. I'm not willing to just concede it, but
sure.
Maybe I should get my own boards and practice, Gina.
You know what? I have some in the basement. That's a good reminder. And the sun's out today. I could put them out in the yard. All right.
And I will say, I definitely think I'm favored in darts. I wouldn't say I'm confident I'm necessarily going to win, but I feel I should be the favorite. And the mini basketball thing, how much little mini basketball could you have ever played?
I used to go to Emporium a lot. So, did we say air hockey? Oh, yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think air hockey will be competitive too, but my shoulder gets sore after it, so I gotta kind of plan that out.
In the past, Gina, I think you said air hockey. You felt confident you were going to beat me in air hockey. That's what I remember from before.
Yeah, Howard. Maybe I'm talking less shit after my embarrassing showing at pool. So.
Okay, maybe we'll try to throw darts in next if it's possible, because that's kind of we think that's going to be a competitive one for us.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, maybe we go straight to bags. And if you lose bags, then what do you have?
Mini basketball. We can go to SPF.
Okay, and that bag. I just saw
air
SPF.
Hockey and mini basketball.
I just saw they had a little bags tournament at SPF. Yeah. I would, yeah. Well, I have no confidence about my bags game. I've played maybe 5 times in my life.
Oh, good. I like them.
Are you more confident about mini basketball than bags?
I think I'm good at both of those.
Okay.
I think I'm going to win both of those.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Maybe we'll do one of those and let's see what happens. I can't even say that, Gina.
Happy pickling, Howard. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy New Year.
All right.
All right. Thanks.